right. Welcome back to Scare Talk. I'm Danny and I'm here with Prom Queen Katrina. And we've got Judge Joel.
Oh,
Hey
so
guys,
you voted
what's
me
up?
in, Judge Joel.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, we're back to talk about a brand new horror film. It is the Fear Street Prom Queen.
Number 4 in the Fear Street franchise.
Yes.
4.
Which we haven't done the other 3 yet.
We haven't?
No.
Nope.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The time has come and gone.
What are we doing over here?
Yeah. So that was back in 2022 when those 3 came out. And we do recommend those. Those were fun. So go check those out. They're on Netflix. If you don't know, Fear Street was a book series by R.L. Stine. It was a more mature audience series compared to Goosebumps. There's like killing and stuff like that in these books. So naturally, it's in the movies, and I don't know how closely they're tied to the books.
I always felt like
I don't
Fear
think those
Street.
other 3 are even books.
I don't think they are. I always felt like Fear Street was like Goosebumps was for little kids, and Fear Street was for like early adults, like teenagers.
Teenagers.
Yeah,
for sure.
The movies are not. I mean, they typically do have like the main focus is teenagers, for sure in these movies.
What are they rate? What's this one rated?
There are. Yeah, they're all 4 of them have been R. But yeah, so it's just kind of crazy to me that Goosebumps is from what I can remember Fear Street being, because I didn't own a lot of them, but I owned at least one of them, and it was kind of a silly like book. Nothing like what these movies have been. But
they've basically they make Goosebumps movies still, and they're definitely like family films. But Fear Street, they're like, okay, you guys deserve something that is more adult because you went through the Goosebumps, you read those, you read the Fear Streets. Now you're of age to see adult films, so let's make Fear Street into that.
I like how you came up with a whole meaning to
Danny is R.L. Stine.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
That's that's his intentions. I'm telling you. I already
got the scoop.
Yep.
I will say this one, even though rated R, I feel like it was very much felt like a teen movie.
The other ones did too.
Yeah.
This one more so, I would say.
This one more so, I think so.
Yeah.
This one was way bloodier.
It was.
But it just the dialogue, the feel of it and everything. I think I said a few times that it reminded me of Riverdale. I felt like I was watching a Riverdale thing, which I think Riverdale was meant to be a teens thing, but definitely not really teen appropriate.
Riverdale,
which would go along with this. I mean, it's not really for teens, but it has that teen minded. Teen mentality.
It's about teens for adults.
About teens that definitely act like teens.
I mean, it's always I prefer teens that act like their age. So,
well, that's true. I mean, and that was one of my issues with Riverdale. Was it was dude, you guys are doing full on adult things to the point of owning a speakeasy. What?
Yeah, you forget they're supposed to be high school.
They're in high school. Really? This one, at least they were more teenage.
Yeah.
But
Well, Joel, can you tell us who's a part of this one?
Yes, let's go through this real quick here. We've got a bunch of people that I don't know anything about. So, India Fowler, she is Lori Granger. She is our main character here.
Oh yeah. Why did they do this with the names? I'm like, Granger. Like, is that Hermione's sister or what? Like,
hey, they're trying to connect the two. So
there was
Fear Street
another
meets Harry
name.
Potter.
Yeah, it was like threw me off the
like
whole time.
Teens books.
Yeah, but it just totally threw me off. And then there was another name in there that I'm like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there was. I can't remember who it was.
We got Fina Straza. She's Tiffany Faulkner.
Okay.
And Ariana Greenblatt. She's Christy Renault. And we have a couple of actual like actors that I've seen. Lily Taylor and Chris Klein. Chris Klein was from the American Pie movies.
Oh.
And he's the teacher. He's a teacher, but he's also a parent of one of the girls.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember thinking he seemed familiar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know why.
And then Lily Taylor is the vice principal of the school. Vice president. Yeah.
Okay.
Principal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen her in a few things as well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm not done yet. That was just the actors. I forget sometimes that
You've got more to do, Joel.
I do. I know. I'm slacking. You got Matt Palmer as a writer, Donald McCleary as a writer, and R.L. Stein, which that would be pretty cool if he actually was a writer on it. I don't know if that's just because it's a Fear Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he actually was involved. And it was directed by Matt Palmer. So he wrote and directed this one. What is he doing?
All right.
I'm curious.
So when the It girls competing for prom queen at Shadyside High start to disappear, a gutsy outsider discovers she is in for one hell of a prom night.
Oh man.
All right, make sure you're subscribed. Get on there, click that subscribe button, click the bell so you get notified when there are new episodes that have been posted. And if you want to hear spoilers, then you're going to want to go to patreon.com/scaretalk, because that is where we will discuss spoilers for this episode and all episodes. So go over there and check it out. You get 7 days free. And now
do it
for the actual review.
Yeah, I already jumped in.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is that what I do?
I thought this was okay.
Yeah,
it was pretty basic. There were some surprise kills, like kind of caught me off guard. The kill themselves weren't maybe very interesting. There was a couple of interesting ones.
Some good kills,
but I'm talking about the ones that were surprising, like just kind of pop out of nowhere. Those were just kind of quick. To
the point.
The appeal was like the shock of it, like, oh man, okay, that character's on.
Yeah, the villain
Mm-hmm.
really like just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like they are stealthy.
Yeah.
The mask and like look of the villain, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
like, they looked pretty.
Yeah, it's like a combination of a couple of different slasher killers that we've seen in other movies. I like the red, the blood red.
I haven't seen that.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's worn red before.
The black mask was kind of cool. It was like kind of like devilish looking almost.
Yeah, I liked the contrast of like instead of having the red cape or the black cape and the red mask.
Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah.
And there were some kills that I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
There was one in particular that I was like, oh, that's like a fear.
Yeah. I love the way that one ends.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was really funny.
We'll talk about that in the spoilers.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the better kills and like consequences to a kill of the year so far. You know what we're talking about?
At the end of the movie?
No.
Or just
the way
in
the
general?
kill ends. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember what there were. I will say there were definitely more kills in this movie than, for one, I was expecting, and two, that we've seen so far in the Fear Street movies.
Mm-hmm.
There was only a couple kills in the first one. Second one was basically a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
In the so there were several in that, but I still feel like there's more in this one. Just kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm on the same boat. I thought it was pretty, besides the kills, was pretty generic and just like not really worth a 3-year wait for this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I would have rather them do another trilogy of movies and had us wait like maybe a year or two later and get like 3 more movies, because I heard that's what they're doing next. But yeah, they're supposed to be, but I don't know after this movie. I'm hoping that they still do it, but I'm pretty sure this is in a lot of people's like least of the 4. Least favorite of the 4.
I think it would be for me.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Yeah. I think they started out so strong, and sometimes that can be hard to keep up with.
Yeah, well, especially having 3 solid.
Yeah, all 3 of them were good.
Connected
trilogy. They had an ongoing story that they were telling in all 3 of the movies.
Yeah.
So they could have had another big hit if they had connected this one to some other one.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, there was a scene where you do see Sarah Fear lives on like a locker.
Yes.
On this. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool little, because it's in the same town. Like, of course.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see other characters in this from those movies.
Yeah. I feel like it was referenced in both in the like seeing that and another scene where it ended, and
the camp logo and the very, very end.
The very end.
Mid-credit.
Yeah.
And mid-credit? I don't think I saw mid-credit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then I feel like there was something mentioned verbally too at one point, but not like to where it was like where it actually tied it in.
Yeah.
It was just like brief, like almost like what do they call them?
Kinda.
Yeah, Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say candy corns.
Candy corns.
I do remember that one scene at the end where the cops are talking and one of them's like, I haven't seen a massacre like this since '78.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about.
But the cop in '94, I was expecting to see him in this because this was
88,
6 years before that. So I would assume that he was probably still a cop at that point.
Yeah, that would have been a cool little tie-in.
Yeah,
I think he would have been one of the. I mean, unless they had like one of the parents, or like younger versions of the teenagers in part 1. You know, in it. And for some reason, you know, they'd have to make sense for the movie. But
small town, probably.
Yeah, just walking by or something.
Yeah,
that would have been funny.
Like one of the teenagers, like little sisters or something.
Yeah, that, or even 94. There's a 16-year-old. So could have been a 10-year-old in this one. Same person, but just 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was okay. Nothing special, really. There were some funny moments. It is a who done it, so
I kind of
you could
guess
predict
at least one
pretty.
of the.
Yeah, it was pretty
Okay,
easy.
well, this is the thing. It was, but there is a part that makes it not make sense.
Yes.
And
There's a
so
plot
I
hole.
had it figured out until it was like, well, then no, that isn't gonna make sense. And then it did end up being that, and it was like, but no. So I will talk
Yeah,
about
something
that
doesn't
more.
match up right. Where
I can't wait to hear this because I didn't catch that. I was just
Yeah.
like, there was a scene where I don't want to even say it because, well, no, I'll say it because it's a scene in the movie, but it doesn't really give anything away. It's just if you've seen it, then you don't know what it is. But there's a scene where one of the girls is like showing off her blue dress to her parents, and just the way that the parents reacted.
Yes.
Was
Yeah,
a little weird.
Totally. Yeah.
I was like, all right, I don't really trust this. So this is like, just look the way it was, that the whole scene was a little weird. I understand that girls do that, like they want to show off their new dresses that they get, and that's totally fine. It was just for some reason the way that the whole scene played out.
Yeah, there was a vibe. Odd. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I only noticed the plot hole so specifically because I was already looking at those characters, because I was like, oh, okay, I think I've got it figured out.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I don't have it figured out. And then it was like, oh, I did have it figured out, but they didn't have it figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big part of this movie is there's an event that occurs with the main character that occurs before she's like even born. And they talk about it all movie, and it's like, oh my gosh, are you really gonna make fun of this character for something like that for her whole life? Like,
yeah,
it's a little much. Like, I could see if it like just happened, like and there's like a trial going on, or like the trial just ended, or something to where it's like a fresh. Yeah. And maybe these other kids were actually following the case or something, but these kids don't know anything about this, and they're really it was overkill.
It was awkward how it was done. I do understand it's like a small town, and so those kind of like stories stick, and they become like what the town is known for, and what like, and so then it follows you.
Yeah.
But and then also like it makes sense why it stuck so much with her.
Yeah.
But it was awkward all throughout the movie. It was like
too much.
Yeah, and they made too much of an emphasis on it, which then I think
tips you off.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is you kind of I think that's why you were able to kind of figure out, and
it's not gonna surprise anybody.
Yeah.
Once they get to the reveal.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, unless you're like me. I mean, it surprised me in the sense that I was like, oh, now I'm waiting for it to be someone else. Like,
and then you got surprised by,
and so maybe it was,
wow, you really wrote this and missed
and
that.
I saw something you clearly did not realize. So
yeah, we'll talk about that in consistency in the spoilers, and we'll talk about who is the killer in the spoilers. And we'll talk about that funny kill that I know Joel
funny
cited.
And
horrific and then fun.
Funny. I'm trying to think because there were a couple kills that I laughed at, but I don't know if they were supposed to be funny.
Well, I'll just say someone's trying to escape and they're unable to.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
So let's
So,
go
a couple
to
people that
our
tried to escape, but-
ratings.
Joel's like, that's every time.
Yeah, I think they all tried to escape at one point.
Oh no, some of them just lay right down.
Some of them did, yeah. Some of them just accepted it. Just like, okay.
So I will say the ratings, and then we will give our rating. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. So it was a total splat. The tomato meter gave it a 31 points.
Woo!
31%.
All right.
I don't think I
And
deserve that little. But, all right.
well, wait till you hear the popcorn meter.
Uh-oh.
They double spilled their popcorn. It is at a 28%.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
We're in Friday the
gracious.
13th.
I know.
Part 7 or part 8 territory.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I haven't seen
That's-
those numbers in a little while.
We
Yeah.
haven't.
So
We have seen lower though.
Yes.
Black
we have seen
Christmas
lower.
2019 got lower.
Yeah.
Which that deserved it, every little ounce of that. But that's just kind of crazy though. I mean, yes, it felt very generic and something that we've seen before, but I feel like kills alone should have at least, it's
That's
a
the
slasher
thing.
movie. Like it's
Yeah.
stop taking these movies so seriously. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like I feel like there were some good kills. Like I think that the kills were pretty good.
Mhm.
And they it was fun still. It was
Yeah.
still, like Danny said, there was like some humor in it. There was like a whodunit aspect, which is always fun. It's
Mhm.
disappointing when it's like so predictable, but
Yeah.
whatever, it's not that big a deal. It's
Mhm.
definitely, I feel like, deserves more than a 28%.
Yeah.
Um, IMDb has it at a 5.2.
Okay.
So
I don't know. I still think that's a little low because that I feel like that's a score it should get to eventually over
Mhm.
time,
mhm.
not one that you start at because
Yeah.
it's just going to get lower than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's only been out for a few days.
Yeah.
So there's not all the reviews are in yet. But yeah. So let's give our ratings. I'll go first. I'm gonna give it a 73.
Okay. Joel?
I'm gonna give this an 80. I think it's a little bit. It was above average for me, mostly because of the kills. I had fun. It was an enjoyable time. Definitely my least favorite of the four, and I wasn't a huge fan of the third one, which was when they go back to it's the 1666 one.
Yeah.
I think of those three, that was my least favorite. But so they're kind of fighting for last place for me. Those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still fun. I still had a good time with it. So
yeah. Yeah, the thing is I feel like if this came out in 1988, it'd probably be more well received as like a slasher classic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've
like
seen
Prom
so
Night,
many.
right? Like,
yeah, we've seen so many, and it's like, and I'm for sure done with this 80s stuff. I am like so burnt out on 80s nostalgia horror films. We got to move on.
80s and 90s, because I feel like 90s is what they've been doing like crazy.
Yeah, that's getting it's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
We'll see. There isn't, as far as I can think of right now, a good representation of the 90s in a horror film yet, except for ones that were made in the 90s.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
I feel like we saw one that we were really happy with. But
I mean, maybe the first Fear Street, it was in 94.
Yeah.
That was pretty decent
because we liked that. Yeah. Well, I'm going to actually match your score. I'm going to
Okay.
do 73 as well.
All right. Cool.
So
yeah, I mean, I think it's worth your time to check out, especially if you like the other ones. Let us know what you think. It's on Netflix, so if you have the subscription, it's worth a watch.
Definitely, yeah.
Comment down below with your thoughts. Make sure you're subscribed, and head on over to Patreon if you want to hear our spoiler thoughts. And we'll see you there.